Let me ask you something. Have you ever caught yourself lying awake at night, thoughts racing, heart pounding, not because of what's happening right now, but because of what might happen tomorrow? Maybe it's the pressure at work, the fear of disappointing someone you care about, or just that vague, creeping feeling that you're falling behind in a world that never slows down. You're not alone. In today's world, most of us are living in what feels like mental overdrive. Our minds constantly spinning, full of worries, regrets, what-ifs, and to-do lists that never end. And in that chaos, we start to lose touch, not just with our peace, but with ourselves. But here's the truth most people overlook. You don't have to be a prisoner of your thoughts. What if I told you that there is a way to quiet the storm inside? That even in the middle of life's noise, you can find clarity, calm, and freedom. For centuries, the teachings of Buddhism have offered a way back to stillness, not by escaping the world, but by learning to meet it differently, from the inside out. Buddhism isn't about changing who you are, it's about remembering who you've always been underneath the noise. It teaches that the mind, just like the body, can be trained. And when you learn how to train your mind, you unlock something extraordinary: freedom from anxiety, from overthinking, from emotional overwhelm. Not the kind of freedom that depends on what's going on around you, but a deep inner freedom that stays steady no matter the chaos outside. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 powerful Buddhist lessons that will help you do just that. These aren't abstract ideas or ancient rituals. They're simple, practical tools you can start using today. Each one is designed to help you break free from negative thought spirals, take back control of your mental state, and reconnect with the peaceful, wise part of you that's been there all along. Whether you're new to mindfulness or just looking for a way to reset, this journey can help you breathe deeper, think clearer, and live with more presence. And maybe, most importantly, it can help you remember that peace isn't something you have to chase. It's something you return to. So wherever you are right now, I invite you to pause, take a breath, and come with me on this journey inward. Let's rediscover the kind of peace that doesn't depend on the world being perfect, just on you being present. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Take back control of your thoughts. Let me share something simple but powerful with you. Every single thought you have is a seed. And the more you repeat it, whether it's hopeful or heavy, it starts to grow. It takes root in your mind, your emotions, and eventually your actions. Over time, that seed becomes your outlook, and your life follows. So let me ask you, what are you planting in your mind today? See, most of us go through life without realizing just how much power we give to random thoughts. One small worry turns into a spiral. A passing judgment becomes a belief. A little self-doubt repeats itself until it shapes the way we see everything, including ourselves. But here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. And once you realize that, you can start to reclaim the steering wheel of your mind. This is one of the core teachings of Buddhism. The mind can be trained. And just like training a muscle, it starts with awareness. So, how do you begin? Start by noticing. Throughout your day, check in with your thoughts the way you'd check your posture. Are they lifting you up or weighing you down? Let's say you're walking into a meeting and you think, I'm probably going to mess this up. Pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, would I speak to a friend this way? If the answer is no, why speak to yourself like that? This doesn't mean you force fake positivity or ignore real challenges. It means you interrupt the loop of self-defeating patterns and choose a more skillful path. Now, here's where the real shift happens: daily meditation. Even just 5-10 minutes in the morning or before bed can create space between you and your thoughts. It's like stepping out of a noisy room and closing the door behind you. Sit quietly. Focus on your breath. Watch your thoughts come and go without grabbing onto them. Over time, this simple practice sharpens your ability to catch a negative spiral before it takes over. It's not about controlling every thought, it's about choosing which ones you feed. Think of it this way. Every thought is either an investment in your future peace or your future stress. And the more you invest in mindful, empowering thoughts, the more naturally your mind begins to lean toward clarity instead of confusion, resilience instead of reactivity, compassion instead of criticism. This is how you begin to command your thoughts, not with force, but with gentle discipline. It's not always easy. Some days your mind will feel like a storm. But even on those days, just the act of noticing and breathing is enough to shift something deep inside you. So today, right now, what's one thought you're ready to release? And what's one thought you want to welcome instead? Write it down. Speak it out loud. Let it guide the rest of your day. Because the quality of your life doesn't start with what happens outside of you. It starts with what's happening inside your mind. Let that be where your peace begins. Lesson 2. Train your mind for success with visualization. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself succeeding at something you deeply care about. Maybe it's landing that job, healing from something heavy, or simply feeling calm and confident in your own skin. Can you see it? Can you feel it? There's a quiet but powerful tool hidden in that moment, and it's one of the most transformative lessons Buddhism offers: visualization. Now, you might be wondering, isn't that just daydreaming? Not quite. Visualization isn't wishful thinking. It's a practice, a mental rehearsal for the life you want to create. Just like an athlete trains their body to perform under pressure, visualization helps you train your mind to stay calm, focused, and confident when it matters most. In Buddhist thought, the mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, water, and nourish, it grows. Visualization is how you choose what to plant. Here's how it works. Every day, ideally in the morning or right before you sleep, set aside a few quiet minutes. Close your eyes, take a few slow breaths, and begin to imagine the life you're creating. But don't just see it like a photo, feel it like a moment you're living. Let's say you're preparing for an important presentation. Picture yourself standing confidently. Hear the sound of your voice, steady and clear. Notice how relaxed your shoulders feel. Imagine the calm in your breath and the strength in your words. The more vivid you make it, the sights, the sounds, the emotions, the deeper you plant that seed in your subconscious. And here's what's amazing. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. That means every time you practice positive visualization, you're reinforcing neural pathways that build confidence, clarity, and calm. Over time, your mind becomes more familiar with success. So when it happens in real life, it doesn't feel foreign, it feels natural. You start responding to challenges not with panic, but with presence. You show up with the energy of someone who's already seen themselves thrive. And that's not magic, it's mental training. Now, I know this might feel a little awkward at first, sitting in silence, imagining things that haven't happened yet. It's okay, it's a practice. Start simple. Visualize yourself being kind in a hard conversation, or staying calm during a stressful commute, or smiling at yourself in the mirror with real self-acceptance. These little moments are powerful, and when done consistently, they begin to shift the way you think, the way you speak, and eventually the way you live. So, let me ask you, what's one situation in your life that you're ready to show up for with more peace, clarity, or confidence? Whatever it is, tonight, before you sleep, take just 5 minutes and visualize it. Not as a dream, but as a reality you're preparing to step into. Because the truth is, the life you want isn't waiting for you out there. It's already forming in here, in your mind, in your breath, in your intention. And each time you close your eyes and picture your best self, you're not escaping reality. You're getting ready to meet it. Lesson 3. Clean up your mental diet. Let's start with a simple question. If you ate junk food every single day, how would your body feel? Probably tired, foggy, maybe even sick over time. Now think about this. What are you feeding your mind every day? In Buddhism, the mind is often compared to a garden. Whatever you plant grows. Whatever you water thrives. And whatever you neglect starts to take over like weeds. That's why today's lesson is about something we often overlook, your mental diet. Just like your body needs real nourishment, so does your mind. But in today's world, it's easy to forget that. We scroll through our phones before we've even gotten out of bed. We consume hours of negative news, drama-filled videos, arguments on social media. And we wonder why we feel anxious, angry, or emotionally drained. Here's the truth. What you consume shapes your consciousness. And not all content is created equal. So if you want to cultivate peace, clarity, and focus, you need to curate your input just as carefully as you choose what to eat. Start by observing your daily habits. What's the first thing you see or hear in the morning? What fills your headspace while you're driving, working, or unwinding before bed? If it's constant noise, fear-based headlines, or toxic conversations, that's not neutral background noise, it's mental clutter. Here's what I invite you to try. Begin replacing those inputs with things that nourish you, things that elevate your thoughts instead of dragging them down. Listen to a podcast that expands your understanding. Read a few pages of a book that inspires personal growth. Watch videos that leave you feeling uplifted, not outraged. This is your radical mind diet, not a restriction, but a reclamation. You're reclaiming your attention, your energy, your peace. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Even 10-15 minutes a day of uplifting content can shift your entire mindset. Over time, you'll notice yourself becoming more intentional, less reactive, and far more centered, even when the world around you is chaotic. Another thing to pay attention to: the people you surround yourself with. Some conversations leave you feeling full of hope, motivation, and joy. Others leave you feeling drained, discouraged, or disoriented. That doesn't mean you cut everyone out, but it does mean you learn to protect your energy with discernment and boundaries. You deserve to be in environments, digital and personal, that support your evolution. So let me ask you, what's one piece of media or one conversation you've been consuming that's been slowly poisoning your peace? And on the flip side, what's one thing you could introduce today that would feed your mind with strength, wisdom, or calm? Write it down. Make it a practice. Because the quality of your life doesn't just come from what you do. It comes from what you allow in. So nourish your mind like the sacred space it is. Fill it with light, with beauty, with ideas that expand your heart. Your thoughts are the soil of your future. Make sure you're planting what you truly want to grow. Transform your emotions into growth. Let's be honest, emotions are messy. Some days they come on gently, like a whisper. Other days they hit like a tidal wave. Anger, sadness, fear, shame, we all feel them. But most of us were never taught how to work with them. We're told to calm down, move on, or stay positive. But no one shows us what to actually do with the heavy stuff. And that's where this lesson begins. Buddhist wisdom offers a different approach, something I like to call emotional alchemy. Not avoiding, not suppressing, but learning how to transform your emotions into something useful, something wise, something healing. And like any alchemy, it starts with one thing: awareness. When an emotion rises up, whether it's irritation in traffic or grief that knocks the wind out of you, pause for a moment. Don't push it away, don't judge it, just notice it. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it tightness in your chest? A knot in your stomach? Let it be there. Breathe into it. You see, emotions are not the enemy. They're messengers. Each one is trying to tell you something, and the more you listen without resistance, the more you'll start to understand their deeper message. Let me give you an example. Imagine you feel angry after a meeting at work. You could lash out, stew in silence, or pretend nothing happened. Or you could ask yourself, what is this anger pointing to? Maybe it's revealing a boundary that's been crossed. Maybe it's showing you something in your environment that needs to change. Now suddenly, that anger isn't just noise, it's data. And you can use that data to make a conscious shift, to improve a process, to speak up with clarity, to act with intention, not just reaction. That's emotional alchemy. To practice it, create a response plan for when big feelings show up. Maybe that means taking 3 deep breaths, or stepping outside for fresh air, or texting a friend who helps you reflect instead of react. You're not avoiding the emotion, you're redirecting its energy into something constructive. Over time, these moments of redirection become your new default. You become less reactive, more grounded, and something beautiful starts to happen. You stop fearing your feelings. Instead, you welcome them as teachers, even the hard ones. And here's the real power. When you learn to stay with your emotions without drowning in them, you unlock a deeper level of resilience. You become someone who doesn't just survive discomfort, you grow through it. So let me ask you, what emotion have you been pushing away lately? And what might it be trying to teach you? Today, try this. The next time a strong emotion rises, pause. Don't fight it, don't fix it, just listen. And then gently ask, how can I use this to become more awake, more honest, more whole? Because the goal isn't to never feel hard things. The goal is to move through them with wisdom. This is how we turn pain into power, emotion into insight, and every storm into soil for something new to grow. The practice that rewires your mind for joy. Let me ask you something gentle but real. When was the last time you paused, not to fix anything, not to plan your next move, but just to feel thankful? Not for something big, not for something perfect, just for what is. Maybe it was the smell of your morning coffee, the sound of rain tapping on your window, or the way the light hit the trees on your walk home. See, gratitude doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Often it whispers. But if you listen, truly listen, it has the power to transform everything. According to neuroscience, gratitude can actually rewire your brain. It strengthens the parts of your mind that focus on joy, connection, and presence, and weakens the parts that cling to fear, comparison, and regret. It's not just a feeling, it's a practice. And when done daily, it reshapes how you experience the world. So here's something simple but powerful you can do today. Every evening, take just a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be profound. In fact, the smaller and more specific, the better. I'm grateful for the warmth of my socks. I'm grateful for the hug I didn't expect. I'm grateful I remembered to breathe when I felt overwhelmed. The beauty of this practice is that it teaches your brain to look for the good. And the more you look, the more you find. Over time, you'll begin to notice a shift. Worries won't grip you quite as tightly. Little joys will shine a little brighter. And your sense of resilience will grow, because even in the middle of stress or sorrow, your mind will instinctively start searching for something to hold on to, something to appreciate. And here's something even more powerful. Let your gratitude move outward. Tell someone you're thankful for them. Text a friend just to say, I appreciate you. Leave a kind note for a coworker or a stranger. Because when gratitude is shared, it multiplies. It deepens relationships. It softens hardened moments. It reminds us that we're not alone. And maybe, most importantly, it brings us back to the present. Because in this fast-moving world, we often think we'll feel grateful once things get better, once we're healthier, wealthier, happier. But the truth is, gratitude isn't the result of joy. It's often the beginning of it. So here's an invitation. Before you go to sleep tonight, ask yourself, what was beautiful today? And let the answer be enough. Let it be your anchor, your medicine, your quiet revolution. Because a grateful heart doesn't mean you ignore pain or pretend everything is okay. It means you've chosen, despite it all, to still see the light. And in that choice, you reclaim your power. You rewire your mind for joy, and you remember what so many forget. Happiness doesn't always arrive in loud moments. Sometimes it's waiting quietly in the ones we almost missed. Lesson 6. Create an environment that feeds your soul. Take a look around you right now. What do you see? Is your space calm or cluttered? Does it feel like a sanctuary or something you're always trying to escape? Here's something we often forget. The environment we live in lives in us. In Buddhist practice, the mind doesn't exist in isolation. It's constantly interacting with everything around it: your space, your routines, your relationships, your habits. Together, they create something powerful: your energy ecosystem. And just like a garden, that ecosystem can either nourish your peace or quietly drain it. Let's start with your physical space. Take a moment to evaluate where you spend most of your time. Is your home or workspace supporting your clarity or clouding it? You don't need a minimalist retreat to feel balanced. Often, it starts with something simple. Clear the clutter. Let in more natural light. Add a plant. Open a window. Use colors that make you feel grounded and safe. Your external space reflects your internal world, and vice versa. But it's not just about furniture or lighting. People are part of your ecosystem too. Ask yourself honestly, who lifts you up and who leaves you feeling tense, drained, or small? While we can't always walk away from difficult people, we can choose how much access they have to our mental and emotional space. Set boundaries. Protect your peace. And most importantly, surround yourself with those who encourage growth, kindness, and truth. One of the biggest myths we're sold is that energy is endless, that we can just keep pouring ourselves into everything and everyone without ever stopping to refill. But the truth is, your energy is sacred, and it needs replenishment daily. So here's an invitation. Start replacing one small energy-draining habit with something that fills your cup. Instead of doom scrolling first thing in the morning, step outside for 5 minutes and breathe. Instead of falling asleep to chaotic noise, try a calming playlist or a few pages from a nourishing book. These rituals might seem small, but over time, they change your entire rhythm. And let's not forget nature, because nature heals us in ways we're only just beginning to understand. A walk in the park, bare feet on the ground, a quiet moment by a tree or body of water. Nature clears what the digital world clutters. It brings us back into rhythm with something ancient, steady, and wise. This is why so many spiritual teachings, especially in Buddhism, emphasize returning to nature for grounding, clarity, and inner renewal. So let me ask you, what's one thing in your environment that's been draining you lately? And what's one small shift you can make today to support your energy instead? Write it down, then follow through. Because your peace isn't just about what's going on inside of you. It's about what you choose to allow around you. And when you curate your space, your habits, and your relationships with intention, you create an ecosystem where your mind can truly rest and flourish. Let go and let peace in. Let me begin with something simple but rarely easy. What if peace isn't something you find, but something you allow? In a world that constantly tells us to fix, change, fight, resist, it might sound strange. But one of the most powerful lessons in Buddhist wisdom is this: radical acceptance. Now, don't mistake that for giving up. Radical acceptance isn't about liking everything that happens. It's not about being passive or pretending everything is okay. It's about looking life straight in the eye and saying, "This is what's here, and I choose to meet it, not fight it." Think about how much energy we spend resisting reality, wishing things were different, trying to control what's already happened, fighting feelings we don't want to feel. But here's the truth: what you resist persists. And the more you struggle against something you can't control, the more it tightens its grip on your peace. Radical acceptance begins when you pause and ask, What am I resisting right now? Maybe it's a relationship that's changing, a job that didn't work out, a diagnosis, a disappointment, a version of your life you thought you'd be living by now. You don't have to approve of it, but you can acknowledge it. You can name it. You can breathe into it. And that alone begins to soften its hold. Because once you stop fighting the moment, you free up space to respond wisely, not react emotionally. You begin to see that you may not control the storm, but you can learn how to stand in it with open hands and a steady heart. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone says something hurtful to you. You can spend days obsessing over what they said, replaying the scene, wishing it hadn't happened. Or you can acknowledge the pain, feel the emotion, and then choose how to respond from a grounded place. You might still set boundaries. You might still speak up. But now you're doing it from clarity, not chaos. And that's the shift radical acceptance offers us, a move from resistance to response. It also invites us to accept our emotions as part of the human experience, not as enemies to be avoided. Anger, sadness, fear, they're not flaws. They're signals, companions on the road. And when we stop trying to exile them, they lose their power to control us. Even more profoundly, radical acceptance is rooted in the understanding of impermanence, a central truth in Buddhism. Everything changes, everything ends. And that's not meant to depress you, it's meant to free you. Because no matter how heavy this moment feels, it will pass. And when you stop clinging to what was or fearing what might come, you arrive here, now, in this breath, this step, this heartbeat. So let me ask you, what would it feel like to stop resisting what is and instead choose to meet it with compassion? That's not weakness, that's strength. It's a quiet, grounded strength that says, I may not like this, but I trust myself to walk through it. And in that trust, you'll find something deeper than control. You'll find peace. Not because life got easier, but because you stopped fighting it alone.
The journey toward inner peace begins now. So, here we are. We've walked through 7 powerful lessons together, each one a doorway. Each one a gentle reminder that peace isn't something we chase in the outside world. It's something we create from within. And now, maybe you're wondering, what do I do next? Here's the truth. Mastering your mind isn't a destination, it's a practice. It's not about getting it perfect. It's about returning again and again to the tools that bring you back to center. Some days you'll forget. Some days your thoughts will run wild. Some days gratitude will feel hard or silence will feel heavy. And that's okay. Because each of these lessons, from commanding your thoughts, to visualizing your best self, to letting go with radical acceptance, they're not quick fixes. They're building blocks. They're the foundation for a new relationship with your inner world. A relationship rooted in awareness, in gentleness, in truth. The more you practice, even in small, quiet ways, the more your mind begins to shift. You'll start to notice the moments that used to trigger you now invite you to breathe. You'll feel a bit more grounded in chaos, a bit more open in uncertainty, and a lot more connected to the part of you that already knows how to heal. So, here's your invitation. Don't wait for the perfect day, the perfect mindset, or the perfect version of yourself to begin. Begin now. Begin gently. Try one practice today. Maybe it's 5 minutes of stillness. Maybe it's writing down what you're grateful for. Maybe it's pausing before reacting, or simply stepping outside to breathe. It's not about how big the step is. It's about taking it with intention. Because each step is a return to your calm, to your clarity, to your true self beneath the noise. And you don't have to walk this journey alone. If this video resonated with you, I'd love for you to be part of this space we're creating. A space for presence, for peace, for the quiet work of becoming who we truly are. So go ahead, like this video if it spoke to you. Share it with someone who might need these words. And subscribe if you'd like to keep exploring the path of mindful living together. There's so much more ahead. More lessons, more reflections, more chances to reset, reconnect, and renew. Until then, take care of your mind. Nourish your spirit. And remember, the peace you're seeking is already within reach. You just have to return to it. I'll see you in the next video.